You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We have a special guest in the building.
The homie.
Amanda Diva.
Amanda Diva Bende.
Seals.
That's not Amanda Diva over there?
Amanda Diva Bende.
All right.
This is Amanda Seals.
Thanks, guys. Amanda Diva lives in Harlem. Amanda Seals is in Hollywood.
Okay.
There you
Well,
go.
that is a good way to start, though, because I always loved the story of why you got rid of Amanda Diva.
Well, there was a couple things.
She fought a long time for getting rid of it,
Well,
too.
you let her
Yeah.
tell her own story.
I just want to say that.
He's just making it known, like, I've known you for a long time.
She
nigga. I
fought
know you
that
for a
diva
long
word for a
time.
long time.
He really, he knows this. Yes, I really did. But, no, I turned like 30 and it just felt stupid. Because it was like, what are you really doing?
Little young diva.
Yeah, little young diva. And then, you know who really was on my back crazy? Like, you used to be on my back about it, but
Right.
you let up. You know who never let up?
Cool.
Green Lantern.
Really?
Never.
Salute to Green Lantern.
Like years
Shout out
and
to
years and years. And on my like the night before I turned 30, he called me at 11:30 and was like, "You changing it, right? You changing it, right?" And I was like, "Yo, get off my back." And at the time, I was doing a web series on Black Voices for AOL, and I was trying to get an interview with Wiz, and I couldn't get an interview with Wiz. But Quincy Jones was like, "I'd love for you to interview me." And Green was like, "But you see, that's a testament to why you got to change the name, because you are trying to elevate to interviewing folks that are already legends, not just be stuck in this hip hop shit." And I was like, I
I'll
guess,
change it.
yeah, like whatever.
I guess so.
So was
But
it a-
but here was the final catalyst. A week later, I went to an event and the chick at the door was like, "What's your name?" And I said, "It's Amanda Diva." And she goes, "Yes, bitch, yes!" And I was like, all right, I'm gonna let it go.
Was it a bad stigma to Diva or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, when we were doing POV
Hip hop POV, yeah.
on MTV, I got a call and was like, "Okay, so your job is to come in here and prove you're not a diva." And I was like, "But that's not
The
my job."
preconceived
But the
notion.
preconceived notion, and there was just it was like an albatross around my neck, and I'm already just not here for the bullshit. So you attach that to the word diva, and it becomes bitch, and it's just like you're fighting before you even walk in the door.
I always felt that was weird because people would always say, "Oh, Amanda's got an attitude," but to me, you just don't take no shit.
Well, that's
And you
because
speak your mind.
the same people say that you are an asshole.
Yeah.
So.
But
here's
let's be
the
clear
thing,
now.
though.
Amanda
But
has
this is true, though.
Amanda has actually at one point or another worked with all of us. We've all been co-workers.
Can I tell y'all a touching story
Yes.
Okay.
about y'all?
Okay.
Go.
Okay, so I came here in October of 2013, and I was doing a one-woman show. And I came here, and after I left here and seeing y'all, I cried for a whole day.
Wow.
And my mom was visiting, and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" You know, West Indian parents, you can't cry. So she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I don't even know." And the next day, I was like, "I don't even know. I'm going through it. I'm a cancer. I'm feeling feelings." And the next morning I woke up and I knew what it was. And I was like, you know what? I've known all of them for so long, and they had found their home, and they had found like their passion, and they had found their purpose. And I was still floundering. And it was like I was crying because of it being inspired by y'all, but it also was like a mirror to show me like, bitch, get it together. And then that day, I created my web series, Things I Learned This Week. And even though like it never got crazy views, what it did was it created a home for me as a comedian. And it was where I honed my skills as a writer and as a comedian. And that's how my agent, who ended up signing me to CAA, that's how she found me.
Well,
That's amazing.
What made you
So thanks,
leave
guys.
New York and go to LA? Because that's a big jump. You just packed up and left, right?
No, I mean, it was time. Like, a lot of people don't know I was in hip hop with y'all for years, right? And then I started transitioning, and I was always like a funny broad, but then I like started pursuing like doing stand up. And then once I was really in the mix of stand up, it just became like a natural thing to go to LA. And I went to LA for the first time, and I got more done in 1 week than I had gotten done in a year.
That makes sense.
In New York. And I was like, okay, so maybe you need to spend more time here. And so I had a lot of miles, and I would go every 2 months, and I'd be able to get tickets for like $11. But every time I would go, I would just make so much headway. And then in February 2015, my building, the pipes froze. Like, and y'all know, I lived in the same
Harlem.
building forever.
Yeah.
Yes, in Harlem. The pipes froze. She was crazy. My mom was visiting me. Like, we had no heat and no water for 2 weeks. Her and the cat was quarantined in my room. And I went out to LA for a meeting, and I was sitting on Santa Monica Beach, and my mother sent me a picture, and the toilet had frozen.
Yikes. No need to come back to that.
And I literally,
staying here.
I replied back, and I said, I'm moving. And she's like, go for it, mans. And that was that. And I just started the process of I came back out here. I found my spot, but out to LA. But also, like, I kept meeting people that just were like, go. Like, I ran into Issa, and she was like, there's a community out here. Come out here. Like, the head of casting at ABC, this head of casting for, like, all
Tommy?
these. Yeah, Tommy.
Tommy, what's up, Tommy?
Good old Tommy Crump was like, Amanda, get it together. Like, do it. And when casting people tell you gonna work, make the move. But it was also like New York I'd had my time.
Amanda's a real Renaissance woman, just thinking about everything that you've done, because you started off acting at a young age, and then you were hosting, as a VJ, then you had your own radio show, then you were actually doing music.
I always
It's
wanted
like,
you to pursue
Amanda
more
has
radio.
done
I'm not going to lie.
everything.
Yeah, she
Everything
always
comes
dope.
back.
Radio
And then
was
she
dope.
started her own
Word.
series. But what I love is that when you felt like there wasn't a lane for what it is that you were doing at the time, you created it.
Thanks,
You said,
Ange.
I'm going to do my own series. And I've always gone on whatever it is. You're like, come on.
Ange
I've
always
done
comes
everything.
through.
I'm always there.
You do. No, but that's like my mom. I keep bringing up my mom because like she's been. My mom says hi, Envy. By the way,
Tell Mama
she's like,
I said
tell
hi.
Envy hello.
Now, let me
But
just tell you, Amanda was the only one that used to bring her mom to work all the time. And would get in trouble for
Serious.
bringing her mom to
Why
work.
did you get in trouble for bringing your mom to work?
because why? Why did I get in trouble? Because where were we? And because who was there?
We were at Sirius XM.
And who got fired?
I'm not,
Oh, man.
What happened?
Exactly.
Tell us the story.
Get
What
outta
happened?
here.
Tell us the story. What
I
happened?
bring my mom to work all the time, too, though.
What happened?
Amanda would bring her mom to work sometimes, and her mom was West Indian lady, very nice, very
Go
cheerful.
fuck your mother. Oh, no. Not that type?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Go suck your mother. Cursing people out. Okay.
But she would always get in trouble for it. And
How
the
do you
other
get in
week,
trouble for that?
yeah, she would get in trouble for all the time.
I would get in trouble
She
for
would get
living.
written up for it. So the other week, I seen Amanda laughing on her Instagram, like this evil laugh, like I'm like, what the hell? She was like, I just found out my ex-boyfriend is not doing well.
Damn, Seals.
And then she said,
You petty ass
and then she
cancer.
said, I found out my ex boss just got fired. I said, what's wrong with you? That's the first thing I said. I said, what's wrong with you? So explain the story now.
No, I used to work at Sirius, and the boss there, and listen, when I got my job at Sirius, I was only 22. No, I was 21. It was my first job out of college. So when I think back to what 21 was, though, like, you're an idiot. You think you know shit, but you're still a young person trying to figure it out. And so, like, I'm, like maybe not turning in my invoices right away and, just trying to find my footing. And Envy was there and would help me, like, okay, do this, do that, like, talk to these people. But I was just literally just trying to get my footing in the real world. And this grown-ass man had made it his mission to just hound me and make life difficult. Literally, the first day we met. First of all, anytime you go to dap someone and they give you the corporate, sketchy.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
Not even letting you know that they down.
Right, like he literally said, "Keep it corporate," and I'm like, okay.
He said, "Keep
and
it
he had a little ass chain. You know what I'm saying? So the combination. The combination. Why you got a choker, B? Why you got a Cuban link choker?
I hate her.
I don't
hate her.
understand. So fast forward, we
guys
had
are
to have
crazy.
one-on-one meetings. And my very first one-on-one meeting, he said to me, "You're spoiled, and I'm gonna expose you."
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Like, and I'm literally like a 21-year-old just out of college. Like, this is my new boss, and that's what he says to me. And in hindsight, like, you don't have at that age, a lot of times you don't have the footing to be able to be like, I'll show him, you're just like, shit, I got to make him like me, So I would bring my mom to try and like create like a familial type of familiarity, and then like, look, like I'm cool. See, look, here's my mom. I'm letting you in, and everything was copacetic until I joined Floetry, which is another conversation.
We get into that.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that one.
And I can't hide shit on my face. God damn it. And once I joined Floetry, all shit flipped over, because then he was like, "Oh, she's gonna be famous."
Yeah.
And then he like shut everything down. Like all the niceness got shut down. And then he was like, "No, like." He would lie to me. Like, he would say that people weren't coming in when they really were coming in. Then I'd have like rappers texting me like, "Why aren't you here? I usually interview with you." And he's like, "Other people need a shot at stardom. You're too much. Other people need a shot." And let me tell y'all something. can't nobody take from you what's yours.
That's
you know,
it.
because even though he tried it, who's here?
There you go.
I
And
feel
who's
you.
fired?
There you
Who's
go.
sitting home watching this right now, seething? I see you, nigga.
Mad that you
I
called his
see
name
you.
and said he
You
wear a
mad.
choker.
Stop.
Well, I will say that a lot of times in our past, and I'm
crazy.
sure we could all say this, we've had experiences that have been terrible at work. And the best thing to do is to be successful, because that is the best revenge
Absolutely.
on anybody.
Now you were a member of Floetry at one point. We had Marsha up here.
I know.
She told.
Everybody told me.
Yeah, she told the story. She didn't have anything
She
bad
didn't
to
tell
say
the
about
story.
you. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, now, actually, the reason that Amanda was in Floetry,
Because you hooked it up, right?
Ta-da!
Oh, you set
Was
this
because of me.
disaster up.
You set it up?
yeah,
Yeah.
so what happened was, shout out to my boy Ryan Press. Ryan hit me and said, we're looking for a female rapper, singer. You know, she could sing, she could rap, somebody to join Floetry and go on tour. So I said, oh, my girl Amanda, she's, you know, she's a
I
great
literally
artist.
get a text on my sidekick.
So I text Amanda like,
Her sidekick.
are you interested? You think you would want to join Floetry? And she's like, yes. So we get on the phone. I hook it up. Now, mind you, I thought it was just an audition, that they had other people, but they put her in the group like right
Straight
away.
away.
So what happened with Floetry? What was good and what was bad?
Why was you and Marsha about the fist fight? It's an abundance of questions.
First of all, I don't fist fight. Because that's not my forte. I don't do things that I'm not good at. I'm a verbal fighter. So that's that. There was just a certain level of dishonesty in terms of like what I was walking into. And I didn't have the proper representation also to have my back. And it's very hard when you don't have people that really support you, because then you're getting set up. And if you don't have people that support you, they're just like, let them set you up. It's fine. Just be happy you're getting the shot. And, we went on the road and they didn't tell the fans that Natalie had left.
Wow, so you just got in there like, who's this?
And I don't look like Natalie.
Not at all.
Right.
And
yeah.
so much of Floetry was about their look, and the uniqueness of their look. And then here I come, this high yellow skinny bitch, and it's like, who's this? And y'all, like, I'm talking about in Baltimore, a chick swiped my ankle. I had to like,
What?
I had to.
Like, took on stage?
Yes,
Wow.
I had to literally be like, "Oh shit," like in DC at Love at the start of the show, everyone had their backs to the stage, like in protest of me. And every show, I'd have to win the crowd over. And my frustration with Marsha was that she did not take an active role in bringing me to the crowd with the love that she would have needed to show me for them to show love.
Gotcha.
Like, she had all the power to be like, all right, y'all, it's Floetry, but it's different now. And we've got, Natalie went her own way, but we're going to still keep the vibes going. And
So you just was out there.
girl,
walking
every single show, she would come with a new way to come out, and it would never be that. It was like, okay, so I'm going to start singing Butterflies, and then you're going to just come out and give the band a pound, like give everybody a pound, and then you're just going to like come to the mic and start singing. And I'm like, what is that?
Setting you up for failure.
Why
Setting
though?
me up.
Because I remember they announced it. I remember seeing the press
I have
release.
theories. They didn't announce it until the 5th. They announced the tour, but they didn't announce the situation. And then in Atlanta, I was at Soundcheck, and I mean, I guess we on the Breakfast Club. This is where the tea spills, right?
Yes.
Okay, so little did everyone know that prior to all of this, me and the music director were fucking. So prior to all of this, like, we had a relationship.
Okay.
But no one knew that. And so she's doing shady shit, and he's like,
Coming back and telling you.
yes,
Oh, pillow talking. Okay.
homie talking. So,
Pillow talk.
so, and that's the thing. It's like, don't be shady. Like, that's it. Like, don't be shady.
So
like,
what's your theory? Why would she do that? Why would she? Because
My theory
my
is that
understanding
what-
was she wanted to keep it going.
My theory is that they wanted me to quit so that she could finish out the tour as just like a Marsha tour under the Floetry banner. That's my
setting
theory.
up her solo career.
Yes,
Got
that's
you.
my theory. And I was about to leave in Atlanta because homeboy told me, like, yo, she's trying to cut your solo song from the show. But we had just done soundcheck and she had never mentioned that. So literally what would have happened is I would have been on stage and the part of the show where my song is supposed to come, another song would have just come on. And I wouldn't.
You've been looking crazy.
Yes. And so I said something to her about it and she was just like, just rebuffed me. And then when I got to my room, I remember Dwight Willisey. Shout out to Dwight.
Dwight.
Dwight texted me and was like, turn on Wendy Williams. And Natalie was on there and it was like, she was just going hard and was like, Amanda Seales is not Floetry. Floetry is Marsha and Natalie. And if you're going to the show, just know that I'm going to be there. So I'm like, wow. I call Marsha's room like, what's going on? And when you need a certain response to feel comfortable,
Yeah.
I didn't get that response. Like, I didn't get like a, nah, girl, it's me and you. I got like a, I don't know, player. And I was like,
Damn.
I'm out. And so I was just, y'all know me. Like, once I hit that point, you've witnessed an Amanda Seales, I'm out.
I witnessed
So me and Andrew were doing an event one time and I found out she was getting paid and I wasn't. And I was like, I'm out. And so I was about to leave, and the drummer is actually who stopped me. Like, everybody else who hit me about leaving was given wrong reasons to stay. But the drummer was like, listen, they want you to leave. And if you leave, you're giving into them. You're giving into their negativity. You're giving into their expectations that you are weak. And if you stay, what you're showing is that you're going to persevere regardless. And honestly, he was like, this is about your journey. Like, don't let them steer you off your journey. And he's so right, because after that, me and Marsha, we ended up like coming to an understanding, and then we finished the tour. But what I did learn on that tour is like Marsha is an incredible vocalist, and in the studio, like her ability to stack vocals and make melodies was incredible. So I got to learn from one of the greats in that respect, and it really changed my music. And also, anytime you get to be on the road and going in different cities and doing your art, you're learning every different city.
And that's what I had said when me and Amanda, we had a lot of conversations during that time. And I was like, this is a great experience for you to learn how to be a better performer for your solo performances and for people to learn who you are. And I know there was a lot of drama going on, but I'm glad you stuck it.
Well, because honestly, like, I'm not a selfish person. So it's like, I don't naturally think about like, how's this going to serve me? It's like people have to be like, Amanda, like, you can win here. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Now, after you left the group, did you keep fucking the music director?
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, like, over years of time, because he's a fuck nigga. But
now, let's talk about relationships with you for a
Goodness
minute.
gracious,
Because that's
Amanda.
another thing that Amanda always gets into. There's a lot of F-boys out here, right? And are you?
I mean, it's hard not to.
You've always been so vocal about your
she has
relationships.
been.
Like, even when we used to work at Hip Hop POV, I used to be hearing things I know I wasn't supposed to be hearing.
But then
She's
I ended
very
up,
vocal about her stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. I know one time Amanda was like, I just had an orgasm for the first time.
it was exciting.
I'm like, this was like 2010, 2012.
Yeah, because like, it's not necessarily easy to have an orgasm from a dick.
right.
Wow.
Especially if someone hasn't made it their business. Like, it requires, like, it's not just like a general area thing. You gotta nail it. It's like a sniper thing.
Do you think sex can still be good if you don't have an orgasm?
At this point, for me, no, because then I know what I'm missing.
Right.
But
You know what's sad?
'Cause it doesn't happen every time.
I still remember exactly what this guy looked like because she,
Really? She just said, what does penis look like?
shut up. Because she kept pointing him out like,
That's the guy that gave me my first orgasm.
yes. He was from Philly. I remember him.
Wow.
don't give him too much
No, I
burn,
won't.
please.
Okay, I won't.
Did he have a beard?
Let's not even do this.
I don't remember his name though. I remember what he looks
Are
like.
you looking for him, Solomon?
No.
You went over there?
Shut up.
No, because he's that dude that's like, he would use my name to get into places.
that was me.
So,
Like,
I'm the one that gave
I'm
Amanda Seales an orgasm. Tiffany Dubois, I gave her an orgasm.
bang, bang, bang.
so what's your relationship status now? Because I'm sure a lot of F-boys in the past have been coming out the woodworks.
Oh my God. It
after
is
seeing
like
you on
termites.
HBO.
They're just like eating up the woodworks. Hey, what's good? Yo, and my favorite is, yo, I'm proud of you. You ain't proud of me.
I always knew.
That's my version of, hey, big head. Yo, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, girl. I see you shining. Shut up.
Used to be a host on Direct Effects too, right?
No,
No, what
but
show was that? It was
on
something-
Sucker Free.
Sucker Free.
She was the first
Me,
after a line on him.
Yep.
me and you allegedly got both fired by Jay-Z.
Mom, did you hear that?
I didn't.
Yo,
yeah.
that's my mother's theory. That's been my mother's theory for years. I could never prove
Let's
it.
talk about it because the story was that you were doing an interview and you wanted Jay-Z on your album. That's what it was, Jay-Z on your album. And you asked Jay-Z for his number. This
What?
is the story, yeah. This is the story. And you asked Jay-Z for his number and the people at MTV thought that was disrespectful and let you go.
I never thought anything was wrong with that, by the way.
let
never heard that
me
story?
look dead in this camera and tell y'all that is not at. I mean, do you see this genuine
You never heard that?
befuddlement?
You never heard this story?
I've never
That
heard
story
this
was going
story.
around for a long
I
time.
mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I
So
have no
why did
idea.
Mama think you got fired by Jay-Z?
Because my mom be knowing.
Your mom be knowing.
And there was always like too many situations where it was like Hove is there and then funny stuff happened with me. That's happened like 3 different times.
Yeah.
Like I got in trouble at Sirius one time because he was sitting there in the lobby and I was like, "What you doing?" He was like, "Nothing." I was like, "You want to do an interview?" Because you know how Sirius was. Like you just had the
Right.
studio and he was like,
Sirius
"Sure."
usually catered to the pop and white people, not really the urban. So we had to get in when we fit in. So if we see
Yeah,
the artist, we gonna snatch.
I
it.
got a lot of
Yeah.
interviews because I was on at the same time as Howard Stern.
Right.
Yes.
That's
And
what
But you
I
said
would-
he said sure.
he said sure and was like, where you want to go? And we did the interview. And the next day I got written up. And they were like, you did an unauthorized interview
Yeah, that happened to me one
with
time.
Sean Carter.
I would feel like that's really going for it.
That,
Like,
and I texted
why
him.
wouldn't you?
I texted him and I was like, I just got in trouble for interviewing you. And he was like, I would think you would get a pat on the back. But wait, let me clarify.
Okay.
This is what happened at MTV2. The first time I was interviewing him, it was to promote Fade to Black. And he was there and he was waiting for his jewelry to come. So he was just sitting in the waiting area and we were just waiting. And they were like, well, do you want to come and talk to him so you can kind of just like build a rapport before you do the interview? And I was like, sure. And I had an original vinyl of Volume 1 and of Reasonable Doubt. No, I had an original copy of Reasonable Doubt.
Okay.
And so I came and I just showed it to him like, this is how much of a fan I am, And he was like, oh, do you want me to sign it?
Yeah?
Yeah, sure. There was a Sharpie right there. He signed it. That's the story.
That's the whole story.
You got in trouble for that?
The next day, I got a call from my boss, and he was like, what you did with Jay-Z was very inappropriate. And I was like, what did I do with Hove? And he was like, well, we told you not to take any pictures. And I was like, but I didn't take any pictures. And he said, well, signing the album is the same thing.
Wow.
And so they fired you?
What? And I was like, oh, okay. And then about a month later, they fired me.
So who even told them that you, like,
That you got his son.
who
yeah.
told?
There was a John.
That was MTV. Wasn't the same
There
thing.
was
My bad.
there was a John there who I had been told like was a hater or whatever.
okay.
I mean, I was always like the young, loud chick, so it was
Have you
offensive
had
to people.
a lot of issues like with women in the workplace? Because I see a lot of women supporting you now,
Right.
and you have your whole community. But has it been like that always, or do you feel like it's harder for you?
I think I'm just a big personality, and I think that gets misread. Like even like coming up in college, like it's like, oh, you just like you're too much. You're too much. You know what I mean? And so I think it's like growing into your looks. I kind of had to grow into my personality. Like you were always a breath of fresh air because you were always just kind. Like Ange has always been a supporter. You've always been just regular, even when they were trying to pit us against each other. Like
were
Y'all
they?
had beef?
yes,
I
at
didn't even
Sirius.
know that.
At Sirius, oh yeah, it was like, yeah, she's trying to take your slot, she and then you'd be like, hey, you want to come on the show? So it's like, well, clearly she's not.
Yeah, no.
trying to-
I mean, listen. From when I first met Amanda, I thought she was super cool. We had no issues. We used to hang out.
Super cool,
all the
super
time.
talented,
Jokes.
Yeah,
smart.
I always said Amanda is so talented. Like I didn't know what you would end up doing, but I was like, she's so talented. Obviously, I thought that because I would recommend you for anything.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think, but honestly, like if I'm really thinking back, it's been women in the workplace who have always helped me. Like it was my boss at BET that changed my life, that made me able to move to LA. Because I woke up one day in 2014 and did not know where my next check was coming from. Like legit, just was like, oh wait, how did I let this happen again? And then I hit up this woman, Shani, that I had done some work with at BET, and I was like, hey, I'd love to come in and just like pitch some ideas to you for digital. She was like, yeah, come through. And I came in, I pitched an idea for like a web series. It's like a celebrity fashion, like fun, light thing called Funny Style. And she was like, okay, let's do a pilot. So we did a little pilot. And then she's like, okay, let's do 6 episodes. And we did 6 episodes. And I came in her office. I said, listen, I need to change my life. And the only way that I'm going to be able to change it is with a steady flow of income. I need to move to LA, and I need support in order to do that. And she was like, well, I want to be a part of your success, so I'll pick up your web series for a year.
Wow,
That's
that's
awesome.
dope.
And she kept her word. And even when I moved to LA, she made it possible for me to change the format so that I could do it in LA. you know, and it was one of those alchemist moments where it's like, you know, like an if you build it, they will come. Like I had decided I needed to move, and then all the pieces just started like falling into place and making it possible for me to move. And once I got to LA, you know, everything is just kind of, you guys have known me for a long time. So you've seen like, damn, like she literally moved there a year and a half and everything has just been like turning over, and stuff that I've always been doing is now being recognized, you know, by like legitimate, credible sources and places. And it's cool.
But people don't see those years of hard work that you was putting in way prior to LA.
No. I mean, the beauty is that we have the internet. So if you want to see those years, you can find them. Like,
now, you had to school Caitlyn Jenner on being a minority in America and his privilege. That was a beautiful moment.
Her privilege.
Her privilege. What happened with that?
You know what? Ask that over just in case. Just you ask it over and you say her privilege, please.
She corrected me. We
You
good.
just asked
Stop
it
being
over
so
the-
scary.
I'm scared.
We're learning. It's a process. Relax.
I'm
Jesus
scared.
Christ. Go continue, Miss Seals. Her privilege.
So I went to this Katy Perry dinner that I was invited to. They were having this like dinner of discourse where they wanted to focus on like how it is to have difficult conversations. And everyone there was very nice and, you know, very congenial. But it was also just like, are we just going to sit here and like pat each other on the back? Like, I don't know the purpose of this if we're not going to have like actual discourse. And if you saw the live stream, you saw that over the course of the stream, they kept like getting on me because I would be the one, as usual, pointing out like, hey, that don't make sense. Hey, what are you talking about? And Caitlyn Jenner, she be trying to glamour folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, because she
Think about she a vampire.
it's true. She's trying to suck the consciousness out of you, man. Like,
That sounds appealing.
because she's sitting there and you know, you've already been shown like, okay, like she's gone through this journey and you've been shown this transgender moment, but like it makes you forget that like, okay, but you're also, for a long time, you've been this very privileged white man. You've been a part of the Kardashian family. Like that doesn't just go away.
Right.
Like that doesn't just get erased. Like you killed somebody in a car accident. Like that doesn't just, and nothing happened to you. That is white privilege, right? Like, and so long story short, over the course of the dinner, like she just kept saying stuff that was so ridiculous. Like
so white manish?
yeah, like
Yeah.
oh, you know, I'm working with the Republicans from the inside on the things that they're not good at, and I said, well, what are they good at? And she's like, well, you know, I'm having a hard time helping the Democrats, and I said, but what are the Republicans good at? And then she said something else, and I was like, you realize you've said the same thing 3 times, and they're like, Amanda, don't go hard on her. And eventually, what ended up happening was someone said that Donald Trump will pass.
Meaning, what's that mean? Like die?
No, just
No,
like
it'll
his
just come and
reign.
go?
Yeah, like it's
Reign,
gonna
yeah.
come and go. You know, it'll pass. And I was like, you know, I'm sure there were people that thought the same thing about Hitler, and they were like, whoa. And sometimes you do have to hit people with an extreme example for them to even see, you know, a modicum of what you're trying to say. But it did wake them up, and they were like, well, how can you say that? And I said, well, you know, it's not like he hasn't shown through example his propensity for evil. And then he's not just him. He has a whole staff, you know, Pence, Bannon, Ryan, this DeVos broad. All of these people are actively doing work to undermine equality, to undermine inclusivity, to undermine educational resources, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So why are we acting brand new? And they were like, well, Caitlyn, what do you think? And she was like, I just don't want to talk anymore because it's just, the conversation's too hostile.
Really?
It's too hostile. And I was like, what? Like, what? And that's when the conversation turned, thank you, to me saying, you know, it's actually thanks to Van Jones. Van Jones was like, well, you can't just shut it down like that. And I said, well, you know, I'm not hostile, I'm passionate. And I should be able to be. We come from different backgrounds. And people after this conversation where I told Caitlyn Jenner essentially like, we don't come from, like, America hasn't treated you the same way that it treats black people. And of course she was like, she scoffed, which is, that's just willful ignorance.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
it's
not even
willful
listening,
ignorance.
and-
You're not even listening. And why do we act like Jim Crow didn't happen like recently? Like, there are people alive and well right now that lived through Jim Crow.
Yeah, the Civil Rights Act was signed in 1964.
Like, people are still trying to get over their first crush in college, and you're 52 and you're still thinking about that nigga.
Word.
But you're expecting black people to get over 400 plus years of legal oppression. Because let's be real, like Jim Crow is lawful. Right now, at least you can maybe file a civil rights suit and be like, hey, you know, they did this shit. No, back then it was legal. And so the beauty of it, though, was I feel like it's really a blessing, especially in this day and age where, like, you never know what camera's on you. You never know where they're going to catch you, you know, the internet or whatever. It's a real blessing to, like, get notoriety being your best self. Right. Like, that was
living in your truth.
Living in your truth, which is what I'm all about. And like my Instagram following went up from 44,000 to 111,000 in 4 days.
Wow.
And that really is a testament to like how hungry people are for the truth. And how hungry people are for, you know, Black women being honest and raising our voices in the face of people like Caitlyn Jenner. Because someone like Caitlyn Jenner, she's not an influencer. And that's the thing. People think, oh, she's an influencer. What's she influencing? All she's influencing is you to watch. Because you're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Right.
But she's not using any of her clout to change anything.
That's what I always
She
say.
had a Make America
Yeah.
Great Again hat on the other day. Get out of here.
Like, people like that should use their privilege to combat the prejudices that are going on in the world, not reinforce them.
But they don't acknowledge they have privilege.
Right.
In that same thing, she was like, the worst time of my life was cutting my hair. I'm like,
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Were there any conversations after the dinner? Like when the camera stopped rolling? Like,
of course. Oh, you know, because then whenever you're the Black girl in the room, everyone does want to be cool with you.
Right.
This always happens. They come up to you after like, hey, girl, you go, girl. They ask you about your hair. And she had come up to me and was like, you know, I just want you to know, like, I am working from the inside. You know, I'm just like,
Okay, great.
okay, you know.
Now let's talk about what else you have going on. Now you also have this weekly, this monthly column that you're doing, right, for Harper's Bazaar.
Weekly.
Oh, it's weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you just started that.
I just started that.
you bossed up at True TV, though. That didn't happen again?
I bossed out.
Oh.
What happened with True TV?
I sold my show, Smart, Funny, and Black, to True TV. And then it just wasn't demographically a fit. And so we're back in the mix and we're pitching. And it's exciting because I didn't get a chance to pitch the show the first round. I was already at True TV. You know, I was doing Greatest Ever. And they did like a fantastic ad campaign, which, you know, thank you. And they were really behind me. And so they were like, what are you working on? I said, well, I've created this game show. It's a Black pop culture game show. That talks about Black culture, Black history, and the Black experience because I'm tired of seeing all these negative images of us. So let's do a celebration. And I started doing it in LA every month at this place called Nerd Melt every first Tuesday. We sell out every month. We've had guests. You need to come and do it if you're in town, whenever. Any of y'all.
18th and 19th.
Any of y'all can do it.
True TV is idiots.
So.
Jesus Christ. How y'all let that go?
And so, but the show, we've had Lil Rel and Tiffany Haddish on the show. We've had Jay Ellis and Issa Rae. We've had Yvonne Orji and Langston Kerman. Last month, we had Lamorne Morris and Damon Wayans Jr. Like we've had just like this incredible cast of folks that come through because, especially in LA, there just ain't a lot of Black stuff. And like, it's a testament to like people really enjoy doing the show, and it's educational, but it's funny as fuck. And so now I've gotten to come out and pitch it, which has been really exciting to like get in the room. And, you know, I thank True TV because I got an opportunity. Listen, when I left here, it was like, I want to sell shows. Like, and congrats to you. Just, I feel like every other day, Charlamagne has sold a new show. I'm like, this Negro here.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, we should talk.
Okay.
We should definitely talk.
And I wanted to sell shows. And so, you know, it is a big fucking deal to sell a show. And I didn't realize that. Like, I thought it was just like, if the show doesn't get on TV, it doesn't matter. And everyone was like, no, like people don't even get a chance to get in the room,
Oh, fact.
let alone to get a show sold, let alone to get a pilot shot, you know? So, and thank you to just like my team at Brillstein at CAA because they believe in me. And I've had so many representatives that never believed in me, that told me like, just be happy they want you. You know, like I didn't send you out there to get you rich. Whereas these folks are like, whatever happens, you always gonna be straight. Good. Like, and when I told them like, listen, we're about setting precedences. Like, I don't want to hear, oh, we can't do that because this didn't work for somebody else. If anything, we should look at why it didn't work for that other person and use that to make it work for us. And they use that.
I feel like it's this renaissance happening. It's like all of these black women who've been grinding for so long are starting to get their just due. You mentioned Tiffany. We see it with you. Like, what do you think it is?
I mean, I think also, like, remember, our generation grew up watching Living Single and watching Different World. And we grew up watching black women on TV being funny. And then there was just this, like, dearth where we were just not there. And we just needed time to get our shot to be able to bring that back.
And I think once they see how successful it can be also, then all of a sudden everybody's looking to cash in on that success.
We're the number
too.
one consumers. Black women are the number one consumers of, like, everything.
We make everything trend. Something's trending is because we're watching it, we're paying attention to it, and we're talking about it.
And it's the internet.
Absolutely. And, like, just seeing how people have responded to Insecure, how people have responded to Atlanta, you know, and Queen Sugar, like, these shows definitely inspire the rest of us to, like, okay, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. So Smart, Funny, and Black, you gonna see it soon because that's just how things work.
My wife watches it all the time.
Watches what?
She used to watch Smart, Funny, and Black when it was online. All the time. Like, all the time.
Nice.
Now let's discuss Insecure and how all that happened for you.
how'd that come about?
Because your show was on Issa Rae's channel, right? She had the channel on YouTube.
So I had a web series called Get Your Life, and I shot that, like, while I was in LA. And then the second season, Charlemagne actually donated to our crowdfund. So thank you very much.
Word.
How much did you donate?
Why does it matter?
$1,500.
That's good. Yeah.
I know. And no, it does matter, by the way, because trust me, there's folks that penny pinched, and I'm just like, all right. There's folks that love to be like, yo, I got you, I got you, I got you, and then they give you $200. Yeah, and you're like, bruh, that's not even a Gucci shoe. Like, not even one shoe.
Not a shoe. Yeah,
not even the pair. That's not even one Gucci shoe. So I just, so I was doing Get Your Life, but a lot of people don't understand. Like, of course, there's, like, who you know, but you still oftentimes have to go through certain protocols. Like, at the end of the day, HBO is still HBO.
Word.
So I didn't have any credits, any, like, any scripted credits. Like, I've been hosting forever, but I haven't been, like, doing scripted acting since I was on Nickelodeon, since I was doing My Brother and Me. So I was starting from the bottom in that respect. And
Damn, we forgot about that. My brother.
started off as an actor.
Damn, my man.
A young actor.
I've been
forgot
SAG
about
since
that.
'92, player.
There you
SAG
go.
since '92. And so I went in for the audition, but I originally went in for Tasha. And the breakdown said hood hot. And I was like, I don't have the proportions to fit that description. Like,
But you had to have a big ass and all that.
yeah,
Okay,
like, I
yeah.
have moderate titties. You know, they're enough. They're not, you know, exponential, but they're solid. And I have booty on the low.
Word. Booty on the low.
What's
Booty on the low.
Means you don't know I got it till you got
So
it.
so you take my pants off.
Right. You're like, yeah. You know, so
I'm proud of you.
keep shining, girl. With the fucking stars emojis and shit. Out of here with a peach. And so I definitely, like, I remember going into the audition, I was like, to the casting director, I was like, I can't do this. And she was like, Amanda, you can play any part. And I was like, I appreciate the support. But I know what I can, as someone who is also a writer and producer, like, when I read roles, I know it's not for me. Me and Tiffany were the last two up for that role for Girl Trip. And I was like, why are y'all making me do this?
Wow.
This is Tiffany's role. All of us know that. In LA, like, there's a small group of folks that are auditioning. We go to auditions, you're like, hey, Bo. That's when you catch up with folks. And we'll all see a script and know who this is for.
Right.
I'll see a script and be like, this is Brescia. This is Brescia Webb. Like, this is Tiffany. This is Tiffany. And so for this role, I just was like, yeah, like, this is not me. And she goes, well, what do you want to read for the other role? And I was like, well, what's the other role? And she said, oh, it's early 30s Ivy League graduate.
You're like, that's me.
I'm like, you mean my actual life? And so I read for that. Then you do another audition. That audition is for Issa and Prentice and Melina, and you're in this little ass room. It is listen, auditioning for people you know is way more stressful than auditioning for people you don't know. Because they're just like staring at you, and you're trying to pretend like you don't know them. And then I had to do another audition, and then you do a chemistry test where it's you and 3 other chicks, and then it's the other dudes that will play your husband, and they just keep interchanging you. And I remember sitting outside the room when this other chick went in, And when she went in the room, they were all like, "Hey!" And I was like, "Why am I even here? They're besties. Like, what's the point?" And so I remember it was like a good 2 weeks without hearing anything, and I was leaving my house to go do stand-up, and I got a text from Issa, and it was a bunch of white applause hands.
She used the white hands?
And I was like,
The white hands.
right. And I was like, I don't know what white applause hands means. Like, if they were black applause hands, I feel like I would know. But white applause hands might mean just like, good job, like great try.
Keep grinding.
Yeah, keep grinding. And so I hit her back with like 2 question marks. And then she didn't respond. She didn't respond. I'm in the car and I'm on the phone with my mom. I was like, yeah, like I got this weird text from East. I don't know, like, you know what it means? And my mom.
White applause hands too, she sent her?
Yeah, I was like, and my mom was just like, yeah, I don't know. And then as I was on the phone with my mom, I got a text and she was like, you're in. And I was like,
Wow.
I almost crashed this car. Like,
That's like a phone call.
I mean,
I feel like.
it was on the, I'm probably blowing your spot up right now, but it was one of those moments though where you're like, oh, like things are going to be different, and like I got to pay my mom's bills last month.
That's so
Dope.
nice.
That was very exciting,
That's dope.
and but just since living in LA and like doing Insecure and doing my show Smart, Funny, and Black, and even like my Instagram, like my Insta stories, like people come up to me all the time, like your Insta stories are very inspiring. They're helping me make better decisions and shit. Like it's just as an artist, it's incredible to like see folks see you and then be able to give that back, and be able to like have enough money to send like these 2 girls to this Black girl empowerment camp that we're trying to go and like be able to
You did?
start.
You sent 2 girls there? Mm-hmm. Oh.
And
I remember one time you told me you was like nothing worse than being famous and broke.
it makes no sense. I was famous and broke my whole life.
You gotta be the one to toughest thing, because people expect things from you. And
Yes. I was on the bus and these chicks was like, you and me and a diva. And I was like, yeah, indeed. And they were like, why you on the bus though? And it's like,
I gotta go somewhere.
I gotta get there, And in New York, sometimes the bus is the best route.
Right, I take the train all the time, FYI.
He does take the train.
I
But
definitely
those
take
people
the
gonna
train.
always be judgmental because you could be on a plane now and they be like, why you on a plane? Why you ain't flying private?
Right. Why you in coach?
Why your coach?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your dating life now.
I knew she was gonna bring it back.
Are
See,
you-
I tried to evade it.
You did. Are
She
you
asked
with-
earlier.
I tried to evade
Because
it.
I saw that you had one person on your agenda only. So does that mean that you have a
Your
boyfriend?
agenda.
What
Is that like a vagina agenda?
Televange.
What is
My
a
new
vagina?
word. It's my new word that I just made up. Your vagenda.
Who's on your vagina?
Your vagina is your list of individuals that you would like to give your vagina to.
It's a vagina agenda.
Your vagina.
So you have one person on your agenda. Does that mean that you're in a relationship or?
Yes.
Woo!
So hold on, is this on Facebook? Cause like I can go look at this like it's a calendar. Or
No, you
something?
can't
What
look
is
at
it?
vagina. It's not
What
like
is a
vagina
vagina?
chick wants to know.
How does Angela know it's only one person on it?
Because she said it on Twitter.
Oh, okay, got you.
How do I know?
I mean, I think
You have to get the
relationship is a
vagina
very
app.
loose term these days.
You should do a vagina app.
Why'd you go, uh-oh?
No, go ahead. Loose terms. Go ahead. Relationship is loose. Go ahead.
No, I say that because as I've gotten older, you just see that pacing is very, very important.
When you say you're in a relationship, it's more serious than when you were younger. Like when you're younger, I'd be like, yeah, that's my boyfriend.
So how serious? Like, did mama meet him yet?
This is the first she's hearing about this.
Whoa.
Oh.
Bro.
So, no, I mean, it's a situation that I am entertaining. That's where we're at. Like, it's
Y'all just having sex right now? Y'all just fucking.
So
No.
would he come
Oh.
to the family cookout?
he would if I asked him to.
Okay.
He
You
would.
gotta ask, will she invite him to the family cookout?
It's a process. All of this is a process. I got money now. I gotta put niggas through shit.
What if you bring him to the cookout?
I gotta be more picky now.
What if you bring him to the cookout and he leaves the cookout early to go to a work function and never comes back? How would you handle that situation?
I mean, honestly, if that was a situation that I knew ahead of time was going to happen, I'm actually glad that you have a work function to go to. Because let's be real, my last situation, his work function was going to my work functions and turning up.
Well, he was giving you orgasms. That's a fair trade.
Is it, carrying my bags after I DJ? Like, I'm here for a reason.
You think you would ever get into politics?
No, I don't need to get into politics. I can affect politics without being a politician. You know, so if that means getting into politics first, but
You can be active.
I can be active, yeah. Like I wouldn't be effective as a politician. I'm too real. They would kill me.
I don't mean like an actual politician. Let me rephrase it. Like a political commentator. Like
But
how
I am.
Angela Rye is. Or
She's
like
been on CNN, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I mean, but politics doesn't really inspire me the way that just social commentary in general does. You know, because I
Gotcha.
feel like a lot of times politics, you get caught up in like the names of these inconsequential people that are really just like toys for the bigger 1% that's really controlling shit. And you know, it's just like rap beef. It's like, you know, that's what you know, and so it's fun to just interchange with that. But I'm more interested in just like bigger picture, macro stuff, which is like, okay, how is this politics actually affecting people?
You'd rather affect change on the ground, like real things that you could see with people. That,
Yes, like that's why I like young people. You know, like this younger generation. And this is something the individual that I'm talking to said. So this is to show you some of his intellect. But he was like, you know,
He's a fool, man.
he was like, you know, this generation, if you notice, like these kids are different than us. Like they're just a lot more generous. You know, like we would be very much like mine. And they're just a lot more generous. They're a lot more intuitive. They're definitely way more technologically advanced just by nature.
Definitely.
You know, and it's just like this generation of kids, you just see that like they are an open book to be nurtured and to take this world to another level. Like I feel like all of us are in this like middle generation where like the web came in and you know, we're just kind of a bridge, but the real shit is going to happen with the generation with the younger generations. They're the ones that are going to be really affecting change because technology advances so quickly. And so I feel like our work is to really be about like, how are we affecting them? And so I'm very conscious about like the stuff I put out. People think I'm crazy
Why?
because they think I don't have a filter. And it's like, it's not that I don't have a filter. It's just that I'm not filtering because of the same reason you filtering.
Okay.
You know, like a lot of people filter because of fear. They filter based on fear. They filter based on like, I don't want people to not like me. They filter based on, you know, I don't want people to, I don't want to get fired. You know, they filter, and these are all real things. But I just, I'm over it. Like I did that for a long time. And it's funny, once I stopped doing that, that's when I've been able to have my most prolific time and my most freedom. So for me, it's like, I feel like that's part of my work is encouraging this younger generation to speak up and giving them tools on how to speak up and information and encouraging folks to challenge shit and ask questions and just encouraging education, you know?
That's interesting you say that because I feel like I was thinking about this lately. I feel like I don't have a filter because I am afraid. I'm afraid that if I don't say what it is God puts on my heart to say, all of this can be taken away from me.
I don't think that's fear, man. I think that's just purpose. You just know your purpose. It's not like you're, I mean, I don't feel like you're afraid. I mean, you just said it, but I don't know. I just feel like that's just like, I know what I'm here to do and I got to do my job.
Yes.
You know, and I'd feel the same way too. Like when people say like, how'd you come up with that? At this point, I genuinely don't know. Like shit just be coming to me.
Yeah.
I'm like a satellite. Like I'll literally just be in my house. Sometimes you'll see me on my Insta stories.
Right.
When you see me like you just see this part up here, I really am naked. Like, like I really did just get out the shower and was
And I
like,
thought, like, I need to.
and I just need to say it.
Right.
You know, and that's like a legit thing. And I just feel like once you know that about yourself, you have no choice.
Yeah, you got to do it.
to
That's
walk
true,
in
though,
that
because
purpose.
more stuff comes when you get the other stuff out.
Yes. And when you start, like I went to therapy. So right before I moved to LA, I went to therapy.
Therapy for what?
Like a therapist, like a cognitive
I'm
behavioral
about to
therapist.
start seeing one. That's what I'm about to start seeing. CBT.
So I went to a cognitive behavioral therapist, but I learned later that like analysis may have also been helpful. But I went to a cognitive behavioral therapist because she was referred to me, and it's very hard as a Black woman to find a Black woman therapist. They're out here. I'm not saying they're not out here, but it's tough. But I went to her and I was like, you know, I'm moving to LA and I would love to just kind of like unpack some things before I go, because I feel like when you get out there, like you need to be sturdy. And she was like, she just started talking to me, and I told her a story about how like someone had literally just said to me, like, it's great that you're moving to LA because, you know, people don't like you.
Wow.
What?
And I have been
Who
told,
would say that to you?
girl. And I literally, a dude told me that the night before I moved on a date. And you watching right now, and I still remember.
Damn.
And he literally on the date was like, I mean, people don't like you, and I've had to stand up for you for years. And I'm just like,
He thought that was a good line.
They definitely thought that was a good line.
and listen, he was on the agenda. It's my last night in New York. You on the
If
agenda?
you're
had to
spending
do is
time with me
shut
on my
up.
last night,
So he didn't get none of that.
all you had to do.
I left him sitting right in front of the fountain. That fountain in front of 1221, that fountain in front of Sirius, across from Atlantic, I left him sitting right there and got on the train. I was like, I'm good. This is silly. And don't come to my going away party neither.
My goodness.
But people like say stuff like that, and you're just like, who are y'all people? And people kept telling me that so much that I believed it. And I realized I did not like myself. Like I had really like internalized, like, damn, like maybe I'm not likable. And my therapist helped me to just be able to see like the things that they were saying that they didn't like. She helped me to pick those apart and acknowledge what those things were and why they're saying that, and find love in those things again. Like, no, you're not a diva. You're not difficult. You just difficult to fuck over. You know what I mean? Like, you're not difficult. You're just particular. Like, you're not demanding. You just make people you hold people accountable. And, you get these things misconstrued, and people manipulate you to feel like these things that are actually positive are negative because they simply are truths, and people don't like the truth. That's why they say the truth hurts. And so she really helped me to get over that and get clearer on like what my strengths are and the things that even though they are strengths that are going to be misconstrued and how to handle that. And I needed it. And I think a lot of us were afraid to look at ourselves because it's uncomfortable. And, there is some shit that she told me that is like, yeah, that's not the best.
I have to work on that.
Like I like talking, like my patience. I have no patience, and like I have no tolerance for stupidity. So, but it's like you got to like some people have had different educational levels and some people's brains work differently. Like my brain works really, really fast, but that doesn't make me better. That just is how my brain works. But if I'm speaking to somebody who maybe that's not their gift, that doesn't make them less gifted.
You just have to have more patience.
Yeah, you got to be patient in matters where others are involved because there was a time that you who know knew not.
Yes.
That from somebody, I'm sure.
I mean, I heard like violins.
Do your agents and stuff ever tell you, don't discuss politics, Amanda? Stay away from that.
Because when they met me, that's how they met me. From
Gotcha.
doing my web series, Things I Learned This Week. Like, listen, I went and saw 12 Years a Slave in 2012. And I came out the theater and I literally stood in front of Lincoln Center and I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm going to stop crossing over and I'm going to break through and I'm going to do it being as black as I want to be. Which was counter to everything anyone had told me, even yo ass.
Whoa, Amber, you told her not to be black?
He didn't tell me not to be black, but he was just like, yo, like you can't go hard like that.
I told her the diva.
Don't make me spell your name.
It wasn't
your
like that.
government name. You're the blackest nigga in here.
Better for people.
There's an apostrophe in this man's name.
Leonard might.
no,
I
not
don't
no
know.
R-A-A capital
Rashawn is
S-H-A-U-N.
black.
There's a capital S.
Rashawn is liquor
There's
store robbing
what?
black.
Oh, boy.
A lot of tea getting spilled this morning.
All right, Amanda.
So he told you was too
He wants
black?
to wrap it up
I
now.
said
He wants
This
to
ain't
wrap it up.
It's not a new thing now.
No, it's not that he told me it's too black, but it was there's always people around me that are just like, ooh, like don't go so hard. Like it comes from a place of love. They just don't want me to get in my own way. That's all. It's just, and honestly, there's been examples of people going hard and it getting in their own way, and like you look at Nina Simone, like that was a part of like why her career didn't happen the way it happened. But it also, there were other extenuating circumstances. I know for me, I go hard, but I have a strong support base, and I have people that love me. Like I know all of y'all love me.
But if you were
Like
a man,
I've been here.
they'd be like, you a boss. And you bought your shit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
But I have to be here to help change that.
gotcha.
So, I mean, and like the fact that it's not just me saying this either. Like there's a whole squad of folks that are out here, and it's not just women. There are men that are supporting us, and there's trans people. Everybody is like, it's time for a change. It's time for a change. So you do that in your work, you do that in your presence, and that's how I operate. Like I don't do it on just one thing. Like you're gonna see it in the scripted work I do, in the unscripted work I do. You're gonna see it in my digital work. You're gonna see it in my stand-up. You see it in this interview. because I just feel like I need to embody it at all times and for y'all to really know that the authenticity is real.
Well, you've been talented, you've been a star, and I feel like you're getting your just due now, but your moment is yet to come. Your moment's coming.
Ooh, that's exciting.
No, your moment is coming. Definitely.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that.
Well,
Can I come back when the moment comes?
Of course. Like, coming. Ooh, I like that.
She's already had that moment.
Hey.
Let's end with this. So you often say you live in your truth. I like to say live your truth. I'm sure it's the same thing, but what does living in your truth mean?
Living your truth just means being honest with yourself about yourself. And for some people, that means that you're going to be facing things about you that you may not like. And then it means that you might be facing people that may not like what they're seeing either. And so I'll use the example with Caitlyn Jenner. Like, I'm at a table of people who may not be receptive of my truth, which is that as a Black woman, I have a different opinion of politics and of existing in America than majority of these people at this table, right? And a lot of people would be afraid to live in that truth in that space because they feel like they might get attacked or they might get, deferred or they might get dismissed. And it's like, if you're not living in your truth, you're not going to be able to get to where you're supposed to be. And I consider your truth to be your compass to your purpose. And if you're not living in that truth, then you are being steered by other worldly things that don't necessarily have your best interests at heart.
Amanda Seals, ladies and gentlemen.
Amanda Seals.
Congratulations, Amanda, on everything.
And the best is yet to come.
There you go.
Where can they follow you and all that good stuff?
Follow me at Amanda Seals on Twitter, Amanda Seals on Instagram, Amanda Seals on YouTube. I just started a new web series on Harper's Bazaar that you can also see on my YouTube called Gem Droppin'. Look out for my book coming soon, Small Doses, Potent Truths for Everyday Use.
When's that coming?
Mm-hmm. And you can check me out on Insecure as Miss Tiffany Dubois right now in season 2. And if you're in LA, come and check out Smart, Funny, and Black every first Tuesday, 9 p.m. at Nerd Melt. And follow me on Instagram because we sell out the same day that I posted on my Instagram.
All right.
Hey now.
Well, Miss Amanda Seals, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.